Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is Wednesday morning, March 31st, 2031. Thank goodness this month is almost over. There's one phrase that we keep talking about over and over, and that is patience pays. If you've been patient this month, you didn't dig yourself a big hole. You've actually been more stock specific, even a little bit deeper, or trying to go deeper into industry specific ideas. We have not had that in a big way. The market has lacked leadership. It doesn't matter where you're reading, what you're watching. Leadership has been a vacuum. Tech stocks have been getting hit with rising interest rates. However, today we have something good to talk about. Today we're going to talk about an industry group that we traded very aggressively last summer for the better part of 3 months. And dare I say that it was a easier trade for that period of time. So I'm really excited about talking about these stocks today. So stay tuned. We're going to come right back with that, and let's get it going. So just going to first put up this here. Everybody can take a look at that in your own time. So what we're going to talk about today are solar stocks. But before we get into solar stocks, we're going to talk about earnings from QQQ. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into, is it finally time to be looking at crypto stocks? And can we finally see them break out of this 3 or 4 week trading range that they're in as well? They're a little bit disconnected from actually watching and trading with the major cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. One of the members of our community, Aldo, is all over the crypto stuff. He's really good at reading them. He's helping everybody out in the community with when they're active, which stocks to trade, which levels. And I just want Aldo to know I really appreciate when he does that during the day, because it just adds more value in the boot camp. And everybody can make money when there's easier trades to be out there. So Aldo, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So we're going to head right over to the charts. We're going to show you what I mean by sectors and the market having a lack of leadership. We're going to start out with the SPY ETF, go into the Qs, and then dive in a little bit deeper. But remember, March has been patience pays. There's two sides to that. One side is patience to wait for good ideas and be perfectly okay with doing nothing. Patience to be reducing your position sizing a little bit if you don't see clear opportunities, if you do put positions on. And then the third part is patience to wait for the winners to unfold. Unfortunately, this month, for a lot of those stocks that we've been patient with, where we've had some short-term profits, they've kind of just melted back down, especially breakout trades. So if you're going through that yourself right now, I feel your pain. I've had a few of those this month myself. Look, every trade is not a winner, but you have to take every one. You have to let the expectancy of the trading edge do its work. So look, if you're struggling this month, the new month is starting, learn to protect your capital and see your account grow. Click down and learn about the boot camp. I'd love to see you on the other side. It's only $295 for 30 days, basically a 30-day webinar. Really, it's a 30-day seminar where you get everything, including access to tape reading mastery as well as bootcamp mastery, which is how you learn to read order flow. So let's head over to the charts. We're going to start out with the SPY, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper into some other ideas. And we're going to talk about trading good earnings from QQQ yesterday. All right. So starting with the SPY, you can see we're pretty much locked in a box right now, and there's not much to do. So essentially what I do, as if I was on my trading floor in New York City. For those of you who don't know, we had an office in New York City. We had 300 traders. We're essentially stuck in this box right now. What's interesting is the lack of follow through, but the fact that we're still sitting at all-time highs. The volume is not awesome. The intraday price action is not really that awesome, but we're still sitting at all-time highs. It's basically, again, as we mentioned yesterday, we're holding the bid. So the SPY looks okay, but in order for us to have a stronger opinion, we're going to have to break out here to feel a little bit more conviction, to move our position sizing from 1% to 2% allocated per trade. Right now, we're still on that lower end of 1%. So that being said, I just want to dive quickly into the Qs, following through with the sector rotation. We've really got nothing going on right now. As a matter of fact, again, sticking with how I dissect these things in about as simple a way as possible, this is just coiling and coiling and coiling, and there's going to be a big move. It's really just a question of when. When you start to get consolidation, you know what? I want to come back to the screen here for a second. One of the most important things that you could ever learn, if you learn anything from me right now, is that there's only two patterns that matter in all of the markets. There's contraction in volatility, and that basically means whether it's an inside day, consolidation for a week, or like we just saw in the Qs where it's forming like this big consolidation pennant, right? It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. That's one pattern. From that pattern always comes an expansion in volatility. And I don't use that word always lightly, because what happens is that's the right price, that's the right price, that's the right price. You get inside days, inside weeks, inside months, or like this here, we're just consolidating for a few weeks. The second pattern is an expansion in volatility. If you can only watch two things on charts, or completely look at them a different way, you look for when it's contracting, and then from that contraction, you can expect the market to tip its hand, wait for it to bounce out, and then you hop on board. It's probably one of the easiest stock trades that you could possibly make, is paying attention. Again, patience pays, waiting for that consolidation, waiting for the consolidation to break out. And then those are the easiest trades, because what ends up happening is you consolidate, you consolidate, you consolidate, even taking it as far as just on one day. Yesterday, an inside day could be a consolidation. Consolidation leads to trends. Consolidation leads to big green candles. Consolidation leads to easy trades. Just worry about those two patterns and you'll be in good shape. You'll also stop trading after an expansion in volatility. So in other words, we're going to take a look at a chart in a second, X, that exploded for the last few days. But now we would expect a contraction in volatility, which means that maybe a pause, a couple of days where it has inside candlesticks. And then from that contraction in volatility, we would expect another big move. So keep it simple, and it's easier to have conviction in your ideas. So we're going to get right back over to the charts. So you can see the contraction in volatility here. It's tightening, tightening, tightening. And out of this will come a big move, right? So now we're going to work our way down. This is actually what the market did yesterday. And you can see here clearly 100% retracement in the Russell. That's not what you want to see. You want to see a shallow retracement and then a move higher. We didn't get that. So we're kind of in no man's land. And now that you can like visualize a consolidation, if in the bigger picture, it's kind of consolidating now here since the beginning of February. We pushed up, we paused, we're going sideways and need to get out of this window before we start to have conviction. Same thing here with the XLY. Now, the XLI is what we called out 2 days so far this week, and we started to see some leadership. So you start to see, is the market obvious? Then you go down to the next level. What sectors are obvious? Then you go down to the next level. Which industry groups within that sector are obvious? And then what are the market leaders in those industry groups? That's the way I trade. We don't trade penny stocks. We don't trade OTC stocks. We're looking for market leaders, which is why we initiated some swing trades in industrial stocks. Now, we keep those for inside the community, but you understand now the breakdown. It's top-down analysis, the market, the sectors, industry groups, and then the leading stocks within those sectors. So if you go back to the videos, we've been watching industrial stocks. They're breaking out, so we're trading those, right? Break our way down a little bit further. You can see metals and mining. Again, 100% retracement from here to here. We don't want that to happen, so we've stayed away from these. What we would have wanted to see happen is a push up and then a pause, or maybe this slight pullback here and then take off again. That would have given us conviction. That meant that they were holding the bid. That meant that the smart money was still there, not letting the stock pull back. The stock did pull back. It drifted all the way down, and now it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So there's no edge here. So what we're walking you through is why I keep saying patience pays, why I keep saying I've reduced my conviction level and my position sizing. We have not had clear leadership. Retail, we've been talking about these this week as well, right? So you start to see, before I even call the stocks out, we've been talking about Costco, we've been talking about Walmart, we've been talking about Kohl's, we've been talking about Target. We're following the leaders. It's such an easier way to trade, okay? So that's the breakdown of sectors. That's the breakdown of top-down analysis. Now we're going to talk about QQQ, and then we're going to get into the solar stocks. So QQQ right now had earnings. You can see it's actually up 9.5%. 88 has been my level. So guidance came out, which is good. That's actually what you want to pay attention to for the next move. Above 88, looking for 104 is our next trade. But let's hop right over into the solar stocks that we talked about. We're going to run down the list for you just so you have an idea. Now, these are not perfect trades, but there's news coming out. Biden speaking today, renewable energy. All of this is on tap for today. So this is one of those moments where you're going to be ahead of the curve a little bit before you start to see the price action. So you can see this clearly selling. But this is what I was talking about, where we were trading them pretty actively last year. Okay, that happened to be at the end of the year. I'm going to show you some other stocks. JKS. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, at the end of the summer, easier, and then the tape changed. We left it alone. Now these downtrends are going to get some smart money buying, and we're going to start to see bounces. So you need to have these stocks on your watch list. Nova, okay, again, 3 to 4 month downtrends. Good news coming out. Big spike yesterday, what we call accumulation, day one. Let's see if we get some follow through today. CSIQ, I just want to make sure you have all of the lists. CSIQ actually at a breakout level already. SPWR, okay, not yet, but what you should see right now is look at the consolidation. It's getting tighter. It's getting tighter. Out of this consolidation comes an expansion in volatility. That's what we're looking for right now. ENPH was the leader for a while here. Not much going on right now, but again, all of these stocks 6% yesterday. They perked up. They woke up. All of a sudden now, larger volume, larger green candles. These are the first signs to look for to see stocks that are reversing. So solar stocks are going to be in my list. You're going to start to hear me talk about them over the next couple of weeks, hopefully the next couple of months, unless news comes out today that is unexpected, but we feel we have a pretty good idea what's coming out today. So these are going to be in play. Other stocks on the radar today, FedEx, really good clean breakout. We're still looking for this to get up to that 300 level, not extended. It actually paused for 2 days and then punched through. Other stocks that we need to pay attention to. So now you can see that Home Depot exploded. Now it's paused for 2 days at this level. We're looking for follow through up here again. Costco is another one that actually broke this longer term uptrend, broke the downtrend, spiked back up. If you watched yesterday's video and going into last week, we said push and a pause right at this level here, which is exactly what it's doing. It spiked up. We didn't get long yesterday. We're looking for it to pause right around this level for 2 or 3 days and then look for the next run. Walmart, very similar, same thing. Push, pause. We call that 1, 2, 3 bottom, which is a really old school bottom there. So we're looking for this to be a reversal of the trend. Box, actually one that we haven't watched in a while, but again, a push and a pause, a push and a pause. Next move in box over 24 is the level I'm looking for. X is the one that we talked about before that has now expanded in volatility. We're looking for it to pause, maybe even have a day or so after today's higher opening. So again, something big here in X. It's now up 1, 2, 3, 4. Today would be the 5th consecutive bullish day. I'd be looking to sell if I was long. Member of our community, John, has been long for this. He actually called it over here on what we call a bullish U-turn, our favorite reversal pattern. You want to try and figure what that is, jump in there and figure that one out. But now that it's long, 1, 2, 3, 4. Today it's up 97 cents, maybe a little bit more. If the stock opens here and pushes higher, I'd be selling into that momentum on that swing trade and then looking for the next trade and then for the stock to consolidate. Getting into 2 more ideas that we just discussed that will be in play today. Mara getting up, crypto stock getting up to that level that we are looking now finally to see a breakout, and Riot kind of like dragging. So between the two, Riot versus Mara, looks like Mara has a little bit better relative strength. So what's the theme for March? Get over, finally finished, right? But more importantly, patience. If you didn't dig yourself a hole this month, you're in good shape. Now we're going to head into the new month with a fresh P&L, fresh outlook, maybe even some fresh leadership. If we break out to the upside, we're golden. We'll start to look for some new opportunities. Maybe the sectors get a little bit more clear and those industry groups get a little more clear. Hopefully what we're looking at right now in these solar stocks are going to be in play for a while, which would be just amazing. And these industrial stocks and the infrastructure stuff that's supposed to be spoke about today by the president, we'll see if we get some follow through on that today too as well. So if you have any questions, definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your questions. We always get back to you the same day. If you're new to the channel, definitely click down and subscribe. That would really be awesome. I really appreciate it. As well as give us a thumbs up. That would let me know that you like this kind of content as well. Plus, helps me know that I'm helping you. That's really the biggest thing that I want to make sure that I do. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks so much for being here today.